The dark side of crypto just got a little bit darker with $250 billion worth of liquidity being wiped out literally overnight. And it didn't just end with crypto, it was also with the stock market, the index, S&P 500. They all crashed, okay? The only thing was that crypto continued over the weekend. And then we start getting these headlines of crypto bros, suicide watch, all this crazy stuff that is quite a sad reflection of our times. Okay, and I'm not here to call the top, obviously. I'm here to talk more about a issue that we have with mental health. Okay, and so I want you to be aware because I've been in crypto since 2017 and I've had my fair share of pain as well. Okay, when we were at the beginning of October, there were headlines floating around of Uptober, you might remember. And usually that's a red flag for me, okay? Because that is sort of like how they are calling in all of the traders to basically FOMO into the top, okay? And I think what happened was a lot of people FOMO'd in and took leverage positions on their crypto, okay? And then within a couple of hours, everything crashed and wiped out all of those positions, which is sad, okay? When it happened in 2017, okay, it was my first bull run to the top. Bitcoin went all the way to 20K, and I didn't know any better. I had no awareness of my emotions or fear, greed, or market psychology for that matter. And I put my entire house money on the line. I went all in with house money that I should not have done so, that I could not afford to lose. And of course, I didn't get to sell the top, okay, because I was in denial. And then I rode the crash all the way to the bottom, and I sold the bottom to make it worse. And then within 3 months, my wife at that time filed for divorce. Rightly so, right? But I was destroyed financially and emotionally. So I know the pain. I know pain, okay? And this is why I wanted to make this video. Because there's a lot of people feeling pain right now. And I couldn't understand it at the time. And I couldn't even see it. But it was so bad that I almost didn't want to go on. Okay? And I didn't know how things were going to work out. But I just took it one day at a time. And I slowly crawled myself out of that hole. And several years later, looking back now, from today, I can honestly say that that was the best thing that ever happened to me. I wouldn't have seen it at the time. I wouldn't have known at the time. But looking back now, it was the best thing because it was the beginning of my spiritual awakening. That's actually when I became red-pilled. I was quite a blue-pilled person before that. And I thought everything was good and, living in a bubble, right? But when bad things happen, it either destroys you or it wakes you up, right? And so my life has been fantastic ever since, and it was probably the best thing that ever happened to me, in all honesty. And that's why I wanted to jump on here to make this video for you, because I know there's a percentage of you in this audience. And the conservative percentage is 0.5%. That is on the brink of disaster right now, that you are on the edge, okay, about to do something stupid. And so I want to come on here and let you know that, hey, it's not the end of the road for you. Okay? It's going to work out one way or another. You don't need to know how. Like I didn't know how. But you don't need to know how you're going to move forward or move out of this situation and go on, right? But I guarantee you that this is the beginning of your new life or your new next chapter, right? If you have been affected by what has happened. And I don't want you to give up on yourself. I want you to keep fighting and be resilient and learn from this experience. You see? You never know how things are going to work out. You're not that smart. I wasn't that smart. Nobody knows the future. So all you can do is let go of your ego and your identity and know that there's more to life than money and your portfolio and trading. There's a whole world out there that's worth living. And so there's no reason for you to have short-term thinking, right? Now, I don't trade crypto for good reason. I just buy crypto. I've held coins for more than 5 years in my portfolio, right? And I've done all right. I got in at Shiba Inu quite early. But my point is, you never know how things are going to turn out. Okay? And you need to have a long-term perspective when it comes to crypto, right? If this weekend, this black weekend, whatever you want to call it, this crypto crash wiped you out, use it as a lesson to learn from it, right? And reassess yourself how you're going to move forward from now without doing anything reckless to yourself, right? I don't know if 2,000 people killed themselves or not. We'll never know. It could be more, it could be less. And a lot of times you cannot confirm these numbers because they go unheard of, right? There's people all over the world. But it's staggering because we're at a time in society where people are more lonely than ever. People are more depressed. They're comparing themselves. They hate their jobs. The inflation's crazy, and they think crypto is the only way out. And so they have tied an end result to an unpredictable outcome. And it's sad, you know? And so I want you to not do anything crazy, okay? And just know that if it doesn't kill you, it will only make you stronger, as it did for me, right? There is a better future version of you waiting for you to get through this experience. Maybe this experience was sent to test you for something greater, do you see? To test your strength, right? None of this stuff is by accident. There's something out of it that you're going to get. You don't need to know what, right? But I want you to be resilient and keep going and not do anything silly, okay? So that's the lesson for this video, okay? These things are going to happen. Markets go up and they go down. You have to understand that at the top of the market, people get greedy and they buy tops and then they sell bottoms, right? You just have to make sure you yourself last long enough to stay in the game, long enough to see a win. And you have to think in terms of 5 to 10 years in 1, 2, or 3 bull market cycles, not just short-term pump and dumps, right? That's reckless thinking. It's not going to get you anywhere, okay? And I don't trade crypto. I trade Forex. That's what I do. But with crypto, my best advice is to just dollar cost average in and out over long periods of time. That's your best chance, right? You don't need to be trading crypto. It's so volatile. And to take on leverage is even worse. It's crazy, right? So I want you to stay strong and keep fighting and know that it's not the end of the road for you. There's a whole life ahead of you. So I want you to keep going. Okay? And if you want to reach out and talk to me, then check out my links in the description. But until the next video, you're on your own. Take care now. Goodbye.